Hello, my name is Rossella and today I'm going to do chapter 1 in this book. If you haven't done it yet, click on the red button there and subscribe to my channel to be the first one to watch my next video. You can find me on Facebook, Theory Virtuoso, or Instagram, Theory Virtuoso. You can also visit my website, theoryvirtuoso.com, where you can see all the videos that I publish. There are music theory videos to help you revise or improve your knowledge, tutorials on discovering music theory or grades, sample exam papers, musical quizzes to test your knowledge, and piano tutorials to boost your piano performance too. Thank you for watching. Bye! This first chapter in grade 2 starts with pitch, and it's mainly about notes with ledger lines in both the treble and bass clefs. In this exercise 1, we need to write the names of the notes. Of course, we would need to check the ledger lines and the clef. Okay, tips for you. This note here with this shape, for the little ones that I teach, I call it the man with a hat, because this first ledger line makes it very similar to a hat, to a head with a hat. And it is La in treble clef above the stave, Do in treble clef below the stave, Do, so Si, yeah, in bass clef above the stave, and Mi, so E, in bass clef below the stave. So middle C, middle C. This is the main thing. This is A and this is E, La and Mi. Why this is Mi? Because the bass clef is in fact treble clef plus 2. So, Do, middle C, plus 2, Do, Re, Mi, E. This is middle C in bass clef. So minus 2, because we are writing in treble clef, so we need to go down by 2 steps, would mean A. So A plus 2 equals C. And Do plus 2 equals Mi. Now it seems complicated, but only because I'm saying lots of things at the same time. What you need to remember is this. The man with a hat, treble clef, below the stave, middle C. Above the stave in bass clef, middle C. From there you can deduce that this is A and this is E. I hope this is clear. If you know this, you can count and identify the names of the notes that you need to name here. For instance, the second one is just one below middle C. So the name is C. B. In this case, look at here. Middle C is on the ledger line. This is one above. So, Re. Here, middle C is on the first line, okay, ledger line. So, Do, we count, Do, Si, La, Sol, G. Now guys, there is, in music you would need to know very, 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 very well a few things, and among them, there is the scale of the notes up and down, and I will never get tired saying it. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si, Do, Si, La, Sol, Fa, Mi, Re, Do. It's the sequence of the notes in order, ascending and descending. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si, Do, and descending. Do, Si, La, Sol, Fa, Mi, Re, Do. You can call them ABC, I don't really mind. What you need to have really, 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 really quickly sorted in your head is the scale. Because if you know this, everything gets sorted more quickly, and you can sight read and you can understand things a lot quicker and better. I hope this is clear. If you know this, you will see that loads of things are much easier because of just this piece of knowledge that you have. Middle C is here. So let's count. Do, re, mi, fa. This is F. The note here above the stave is La, okay, A. So we count. La, si, do. This is a very high do. This note here is mi, I. Mi, re, do. Mi, re, do. Do. You can also notice here that high C and low C have also the same ledger lines. So watch out for these. Anything that can make you say the name of a note correctly with a click, it's good. Keep it. So, one ledger line, middle C, middle C. Two ledger lines, high C, low C. Okay? This is the same note, but in treble clef. Middle C is here, so let's count. Do, si, la. This is an A. Middle C is here. Do, re. This is la. La, si, do, re. Re. Middle C is here. Do, re, mi. Mi. I. So, this is all done, and it was really quick. Not because I know how to read the notes very well, because I'm a teacher and I've been reading the notes since I was very little. It doesn't really matter. What I rely on is a simple piece of knowledge. Middle C, one ledger line. That's all I need. Then I deduce that this is an A and this is an E, because bass clef is treble clef plus 2 equals bass clef. And this is all I need. Treble clef plus 2 equals C. So if I go backwards, it's treble clef minus 2 equals treble clef. So do minus 2, do, si, la, A. Plus 2, middle C plus 2 equals I, mi. That's also a system. So you can read all these notes in treble clef, and then when it's time you do plus 2. When you found it, you do plus 2 to find the name in the bass clef. I hope this is clear. Let me know if not. I understand that at this point of your learning you're still trying to get confident with note reading, so let me know if this is helpful. You need to remember these things. Middle C, middle C. Okay, exercise 2. Okay, here we need to write the names of the notes so they can create a word. Mi. Let's pretend that I don't remember that this is mi. In treble clef, this is middle C. So I count from here. Do, si, la, sol. Now this note is G in treble clef. Now G plus 2 equals B. Sol, la, si, B. I hope this makes sense. This is Fa in treble clef. F plus 2, la. This is Mi in treble clef. Plus 2, G. And here is our first word, bag. Let's have a look at the other ones. I'm very curious about them. Re plus 2, Fa. This is F plus 2, La. Here, middle C in treble clef, okay? -1, B. B plus 2, okay? Treble clef plus 2, yeah? B plus 2 equals D. Re. And this is, okay, Do, middle C is here. So Do, Re, Mi, I. Fade. That's our next word. Next one. Middle C. Easy. -2 notes. So 2 notes below. Do, Si, La, A. -1. Just one before. Now see how useful it is to know the scale. Okay? Do, Si, La, Sol, Fa, Mi, Re, Do. Do, Si, La, Sol. And this is an E because it's 2 notes above Do. So, Cage. Like John Cage, the musician, the composer. Very famous one. Okay, this is La. You might want to remember that this note up here above the stave is G. So for example, 2 above G, B, Sol, La, Si. 2 below, Sol, Fa, Mi. 1 above, La, A. And here we can count from G, okay, or from La. Sol, La, Si, Do, Re, D. Okay, so it's all about counting, but having assured one important piece of knowledge, either the last note on the stave, this one here, or the first note on the ledger line. You can also count from the upper note here if you're more familiar with it. What I don't recommend it is to start counting from middle C, because look at how many steps you need to do to reach this note. It is very, you know, every time my students do it, they never say the right note name because it's too much and it's easy to miss a step or to add another one. So try not to. Count as little as possible. So use the closest note that you know to identify what you need to know here. All right, let's do our last one. This is middle C. Very reassuring. 1 below, B. 2 below, La. 1 above, Re. And here I count. Do, Si, La, Sol. So I go ledger line, space, ledger line, space. Do, Si, La, Sol, G. And I think this is an E because otherwise there's no word here that can make sense. Yes, this is an E because the last note on the stave we said is G, Sol. So -2, E, Sol, Fa, Mi. And here it is. Now, when you don't know something or you are confused, please, 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 what I always recommend to all my students is to rely on what you know and trying to use that to find out what you don't know or what you're not sure about. And remember, this is always the case in school and in life because there's no way a person that always knows what to do and always knows everything doesn't exist. Okay, so don't expect that you always remember everything and that somebody would remember it and you don't. Don't compare. Everyone has a different memory and everyone is different, but we are all similar in this. We don't know everything, we can't know everything, but we can deduce it. From what we know, we can find out. This is a great skill, so try to use it, okay? If you follow my way of answering the questions, you can see that I tell you how to think. You need to think musically and to do to combine together a bit of logic, a bit of maths, and a bit of passion for music. Okay, let's move on. Exercise 3. In this exercise, we need to tick the box that shows the correct clef so that the notes would be called as they are on the paper. So, for example, if this note is called E, what would the clef be? Okay. We know the middle C is here in bass clef, right? So this is just 2 above. So that's bass clef because C plus 2 equals Mi. So it's Do, Re, Mi. We have 2 ledger lines. So Do, Re, Mi. By the way, guys, this is also a confusing thing for most of the students. We don't need a ledger line above these notes. For example, here, we don't need an extra ledger line because the ledger lines are a piece of the stave that is written close to the note to indicate its distance from the stave. So we don't need a here, for instance, because there's no note here. Similarly, we need the ledger lines when we want to say the name of this note, because how would you tell how far it is? You can't if you don't have a meter, and the meter are the ledger lines. Okay, I hope this is useful. So no extra ledger lines, they only face the stave. And we need them to identify the distance between a note and the stave. This note, let's read it in, well, in this case, this exercise could be done also this way. Let's read all of the notes in treble clef and see if they coincide with this. So, for example, we know that the sol is here in treble clef, right? So, sol, la, si, do, re, D sharp. Now, in treble clef, this is D sharp, but here it's written F sharp, so it's plus 2. Therefore, bass clef, because the bass clef is treble clef plus 2. Let's count this. We know that in treble clef middle C is here. So Do, Si, La, Sol, G. Great. Treble clef. No plus 2 here. We know that this note in treble clef is Sol, G, so we count. Sol, La, Si, Do, Re, D. Treble clef. No plus 2 here as well. This is middle C in treble clef. The man with a hat underneath the stave. Treble clef. So, middle C is here in treble clef. Do, Si, La, A, treble clef. Sol is here in treble clef. Sol, La, Si. This is B in treble clef. But here it's called D. So obviously they've done B plus 2. Therefore, bass clef. This is middle C in treble clef. Now we count. Do, Si, La, Sol, G flat. But here they've done G flat plus 2 equals B flat. So when we have plus 2 is the bass clef. Here it is. And this is done again. So what have I done? I have relied on the clef that makes me feel better, more comfortable, or that I'm more familiar with. And I have used that to feel right and actually to be right when answering the questions. So this is all you need to do, and do not worry, you are learning, because as you read your pieces, as you do the exercises, as you prepare for new grades in the future, this whole thing will be more familiar for you. So don't you worry about it, you're learning anyway. Okay. Shall we do the challenge? let's do it. Here we have 4 staves on which we need to write the given notes using the ledger lines, okay? Because for example, G is here. Oh, and by the way, if you want to revise the notes in all the clefs, I produced 4 very useful videos that you can watch on YouTube, and I am including the link in the description below, or you can also click on the card above here. So this is the G clef, so G is here, but we can't use this G because they wanted to use the ledger line, so we need to go down. Middle C is here on this ledger line first, underneath this stave. So what do? We count Do, Si, La and Sol. So it should be here. Let's count again. Do, Si, La, Sol. Yes, here it is. Now Re using the ledger lines. I know this Re here, there is just above middle C. Oh sorry, sharp. Woo! Forgot the sharp. Where do we put the accidentals? Before the note. Remember, we say G sharp, but we write sharp G. That's also important. So I know a D flat here, which is just one note above middle C, but we need to use the ledger lines again. So I think we should go up above the stave. We know the Sol is here on the last line of the stave. So La, so Sol, La, Si, Do, Re, here. Again, Sol, La, Si, Do, Re. And then I put a flat. That's it. On this one here, we have 2 staves in bass clef. So they want us to find an F with the ledger lines. Now to write it, we need to do treble clef. So we need to write a note in treble clef that is -2. So F -2 equals D. Fa, Mi, Re, D. And here it is. So I just copy this. And if I want to check, I know that middle C is here. So Do, Re, Mi, Fa. And here it is in bass clef. Does it make sense? Can you let me know? Then last one, B. Okay. I know that so middle C is up here on the ledger line, and so B is here, but this note wouldn't have any ledger lines, so we would need to write something underneath the stave. Let's have a look. This is E, we said, right? Because in treble clef this would be Do plus 2E, so we count Mi, Re, Do and Si. Here it is. And by the way, B -2 equal G. The same note. So on this one, I've used this technique first, and then I checked with the note, counting from the notes that I know very, very well, which is middle C in bass clef. Here, I've done the other way around. I've started from the notes that I know, and then I went down, and then I've proved it with this technique of -2. I hope this makes sense. Let me know. Exercise 4. In this exercise, we are asked to compare the 2 notes and say whether they are the same pitch or not. Now, what is the point? The point is that in the 2 clefs, we'll write the notes in a very different way. For example, look at here. What I've said in exercise 1. Middle C in treble clef is down the stave and it has 1 ledger line. In the bass clef is above the stave, so it makes a huge difference. and this is key. So they are the same pitch, but look how different they are written. There is a reason for that. You don't need to know it now. But one day I will make a video about it, so stay tuned. Now here we have in bass clef, first of all we need the name of this note, and this note is La, A. And I know this because this is the F line, the fourth line. The bass clef is also called F clef, and I say this in my videos about clefs, notes in clefs. If you don't know them, watch them. The link is in the description below. And the F clef tells us where F is, and it's here. So this note is 2 notes above. So Fa, Sol, La. This is A. Okay. Let's see if this note is also A. Do is here, so Do, Si, La, Sol. This is G. So I'm afraid this is not. These 2 notes are not the same pitch. Next one. This is Fa, F. And this is also F for the reason that I said here. Interestingly though, this note is above middle C, and this note is below middle C. So I'm afraid the name is the same, but the pitch, so the sound, is different. So no. I've also created a memorime about this, and it's if the pitch you want to know, middle C, are you above or below? Remember this. Go and watch my videos, they are really helpful. I'm not saying this because I've not been modest at this point, but they are really useful. So again, if the pitch you want to know, middle C, are you above or below? And you will see that they don't coincide. Here, middle C is up, and here middle C is up. So they potentially they would be the same pitch, but or very close. This note is Fa, Sol, La, Si, B. And middle C is here, just above. This is also B, and middle C is here, just above. So yes, they are the same pitch. So both names, both notes are called B, and both notes in this case are below middle C. They are the same note. Middle C is here, so Do, Si, La. Below middle C. Middle C is here, Do, Si, La. And that's another A. So yes. Do you see they have the same distance from middle C? So they are the same and the same pitch. Same name, same pitch. Here, middle C is just above the stave. So Do, Re, Mi, Fa. This is an F. And this is also an F above middle C. So another correct box. Fa, Fa, above, above. If the pitch you want to know, middle C, are you above or below? Important. Middle C is here, Re. I remember the middle C is here, so Do, Re, Mi. I'm afraid this is an E, but this is a D, so these are not the same pitch. Last one, this note is just above Fa, so this is G, and this note is just one below middle C, so it's B. These notes even have a different name, so how can they be the same pitch? Bye bye. Sorry, you're not the same. Okay, and this is done. How to do this exercise, these kinds of exercises. Name the notes and then relate them to the position of middle C to see if they are exactly the same pitch. Does this make sense? I hope so, and let me know if you need further help. I always read the comments that you leave, guys. Exercise 5. In this exercise, we need to rewrite the given notes in bass clef, keeping the pitch the same. So we need to do what we've done before, but instead of checking, we need to write and try to be correct. Again, here, most important thing to remember, if the pitch you want to know, middle C, are you above or below? So, middle C is here, just above. So, do, si, la, this is A. Middle C is here, and I need to find a note that is 2 steps below. Do on the line, yeah? Imagine. Do, si, la, here. Okay? La, si, and do on the ledger line. Mi, just above middle C. Now, middle C is here. Do, re, in the space, mi on the other line. So, do is here, re, mi. Here it is. This note is just below middle C, so it's B. And this note is just below middle C, because middle C is on the line here. This note is just above middle C. So, do, re, mi, fa, 4 steps above middle C. So, on the line, middle C. Re above the line. Mi on the line. And fa above. So, let's count again. Do, re, mi, fa. And here it is. So again, have you seen all the steps that I've done? It's very simple, but this is the best way. Every time, if you relate your note with middle C in both treble and bass, as you can see, this is a very precious and important, crucial piece of knowledge that you need to have. Middle C in both clefs. Let's move on. Exercise 6 is very similar, but the other way around. Basically, we have the notes in bass clef and we need to rewrite them in treble clef, making sure that the pitch is the same. So let's have a look. Again, if the pitch you want to know, middle C, are you above or below? And in this case is above. So we need to write A, D. This is middle C, so this is D. A D just above middle C. And here it is, because middle C is down here. On this one, middle C is above. How many steps? Do, si, la, sol. 4 steps below. So, middle C is here. 4 steps below. Do, si, la, and sol. That was a bit large, sorry, but it's okay. So again, do, si, la, and sol. Okay, does it make sense? Now, to go back to what I said before, probably in exercise 3 or something, look at how differently they are written, these notes. There is a reason for that. And you know what? There are 7 clefs in music, not just the 2 that you see here. And there is a reason for that, to have 7 clefs. There are quite a lot. And if you want to know why, go and watch my videos. Middle C is here. We need to find an E. There is just above middle C, okay, 2 steps above. So middle C is here, 2 steps above, here. Again, middle C is on the line here that we can't see now because there's no note. Do we have to write it? No. Again, we said the ledger lines are portions of staves that we write when we have a note. When there isn't a note, they are invisible. So we don't need to write them. For example, here we don't need to write a ledger line. That would be incorrect. In fact, if I write it, have you ever seen this? That's completely wrong. So no ledger lines. And the ledger lines always face the stave so that we don't write a note like this. This makes no sense because the distance is calculated from the stave, not somewhere up in the air. This is also important because it generates a bit of confusion in the students. So, yeah, remember this. This La is just 2 notes below middle C, A. So, below middle C, Do, Si, La. Here it is. Again, Do, Si, La. Brilliant. My favorite, middle C, middle C. No question, no calculations, nothing. Middle C, straight away. And I hope you did the same in your book. Shall we do the challenge? Do you want me to or not? Tell me. I'm joking. Of course I'm doing it. Okay, we need to rewrite these melodies in the new clefs, keeping the pitch the same. So it's exactly what we've been doing so far, but it's a piece of melody. Now you can say like, oh dear, it looks really hard. No, actually no, because I'll show you why. The most important thing is the first note, that we must get it right. And as usual, if the pitch you want to know, middle C, are you above or below? And in this case, it's below. So just 1 note above middle C. Here. We found the first one. Where do we go next? Up or down? Easy, 1 up. So 1 up means this. Again, 1 up means this. Okay, do you see the scale? The way we accumulate more and more ledger lines as we go up. This is because they are more distant from the stave. So we can see really the scale, yeah, the steps up. Quavers. And 1 crotchet and the sharp. Important. Then, do we go up or down? 1 down, just 1. So, yeah. And then we go 2 steps down. Actually, here, bell, this is middle C. So we're going to write a middle C here. And we must check that we are actually 2 steps down from the previous one. So we double check what we're doing, and we are. So I just put a sharp, quavers, coloured in. Two down, again, 2 down, so 2 down here. Sorted. That's it. And do you see the overall shape? It's the same. We really need to see this because this is also another check, further check that we do. Despite the fact that I'm a teacher, I've been doing music since I was a child, I always double check because I might be distracted, I might make a mistake, and it happens to me as well, you see. It can happen to anyone. I double check, always double check. Okay, next one, middle C is here, and this is just 2 above middle C. So 2 notes above middle C. Middle C is here, 1 and 2. Here it is. This is our note, and this is the most important part, because if we write this incorrect, everything will be incorrect. So again, 2 above middle C, 2 above middle C. Middle C is down here on the ledger line. Now, same note, one down. Grouping, coloring. Interestingly, the stems are up and here they were down, and similarly here, stems up, stems down. This is because the stems also face the stave. A note is like a man. I'm so sorry, I'm so bad at drawing. So this is supposed to be a man. If the head is up, the body is down. If it goes on, if it's good at gym, the head is down and the body is up. So remember the man. Anyone, any human being would be like a note. And the body remains in the stave area as much as possible. That's the general rule of thumb. Okay, middle C, middle C. Can I double check if it's just one down from the previous note? Yes, they are. Okay, cool. This note is G. Now, how many steps? Do, si, la, sol. 4 steps. So, do, si, la, sol. Here it is. Stems. Down. One up. One up. Don't forget the second ledger line here. Stem, up. Ah, by the way, the stems. No barbecue music. Barbecue. B, B, Q. That means that the stems are on the right. Ah, that's very not neat. On the right, if the stem is up. On the left, is if the stem is down. But not the other way around. Incorrect, incorrect. No barbecue music. That's what I say to my students. Middle C. Middle C. Here it is. I mean, you can also use a ruler here, so you make very neatly. For example, this ledger line is really annoying me because it's not fully like flat and straight. Yeah, that's a bit better now. Yeah, but as you can see, I'm trying to like leave the ledger line on the same, you know, on the same line, even if it's a little bit too close to the stave in this case. It's not really precise this, but to make it precise, I would need a ruler. And now I don't want to make this video too long, but you can do it at home if you want. Absolutely. What is important is that it's very clear and one can read it very easily without negotiating with the position of the knots. So, as ever, let's look at the final shape, and I think it's very similar to what we have here. Consecutive notes, jump, and then closer notes. That's it. Can you name the key of each melody? Okay, have you done the keys and scales? If so, I'll tell you that this piece of music has 2 sharps, fa and do, and to know the key we go to the last sharp, C sharp, up by a semitone, D major. Here, no flats, no sharps, C major. I'm talking about this in another series of video called Key Signatures number 2, and you can find the link in the description below, or you can click on the card up here. I'm not using the circle of fifth for key signatures and scales, so you might want to know more about it, because I know that The circle of fifths is very confusing for most of the students, so plus I've never used it, so. All right, exercise 7. We need to circle true or false for each of these statements. Let's have a look what they say. All pitches written in the bass clef are lower than the pitches written in the treble clef. Not necessarily, no. They could be the same. False. Because we've done 3 or 4 exercises in this book where we needed to find the same pitch in both clefs. So this is totally incorrect. They are teasing us here, guys, with this question. In the treble and bass clefs, middle C is written using one ledger line. Yes. This is so correct. It's the man with a hat. One ledger line. It's this. What changes is where it's written. Treble clef underneath the stave, bass clef above the stave. In the bass clef, ledger lines are only used above the stave and nothing is more false than that. So what about the notes that are lower? Underneath the stave, what do we do with them? Do we not write them? Impossible. Goodbye. The note middle C in the bass clef is in the same position as the note A in the treble clef, and this is correct. You can do this. A plus 2 equals C, so yes. Plus 2. It's the calculation that you need to do. From the treble clef plus 2 bass clef. Because here it is, treble clef plus 2 equals bass clef. That was quick. Exercise 8, the last one of this chapter. In this final exercise of this chapter 1, we need to say whether the notes, the second note is higher, lower, or the same pitch of the first note. So again, if the pitch you want to know, middle C, are you above or below? Let's go. Middle C. Middle C. So 2 below middle C, 2 below middle C. Now, they are the same note, but one is flat. And the flat lowers down the notes by a semitone. So, lower. The second one is lower. A flat. A flat. And if you want to be absolutely sure, you can write a keyboard here. A flat. A flat is lower because this is lower, this is higher. In music is a convention, sort of. 1 below middle C, and here 2 below middle C, so lower. 1 below, 2 below, lower. Middle C, but this is sharp. So C, C sharp. The second one is higher because it goes towards the right of the keyboard. 2 notes above middle C. 2 notes above middle C. No flats, no sharps. Same. That's an E. An F sharp above middle C. And this is a D sharp because middle C is here and this is just one above. Now Fa sharp is here and D sharp is here. So this one is lower. Here it is. Congratulations, we've completed the first chapter in grade 2. I hope this was useful. Please please leave me a comment. Let me know. Stay in touch and tell me if my video has helped you understand better or gain confidence. Thank you. Thank you for watching my video. I hope it was useful, and don't forget to share it with your friends. If it was useful for you, it will be useful for other people too. As I'm here, I'd like to thank all those who messaged me and emailed me telling me about their music life or the music experience or music theory exam. And a huge thank you to all those who told me that thanks to my videos, they gain confidence or a distinction at their music theory exam. Thank you so much. This makes me so happy. Now, if you want to find another chapter of Discovering Music Theory Grade 2, you'll find it here. Thank you.